Hey, hello everybody, it's Lorraine Mortensen from Mortensen Photography, and today I wanted to come on and give you some quick tips and tricks on how to look good when you're doing Skype calls or Zoom calls or FaceTime or any kind of video calls. I think right now a lot of us are doing these calls because of the situation right now, and we might need to do them for work or maybe even just to keep in touch with our family and friends. And so I want to help give you some tips that might help you look better on camera, and so that we can make that connection, because if we can't see each other properly, it is hard to have that connection. That's why we're all on here. So these tips specifically today are for people who are using their cell phone or a laptop. Desktop computers, I'm going to maybe do another video just giving more specifics on that, because it's a little more restricted. With laptops and cell phones, you can move around with them, which is what I'm probably going to suggest you do when you're doing your video calls, because the number one thing that is most important when you're doing the video calls, if you want to look good on camera, is to get really good lighting. So what I highly recommend you do is move to an area of your home where you have natural light. For example, I'm sitting in my living room today, and I have a great big picture window right in front of me, and it's letting in all this beautiful natural light. So what you want to do is find a window that is letting in the natural light, but not bright direct sunlight. If you've got bright direct sunlight shining in onto you, it's going to cause a lot of funny shadows on your face, and it's going to be defeating the purpose of what we're trying to do here. So you want to find indirect light or soft light, and if you only have a window with bright sunlight coming in, just get back far enough away from it so that that sunlight is not shining right on you. Okay, so indirect natural light. So all you're going to do is you're going to set up your phone or your laptop so that you are facing the window directly on, face straight onto the window. And the reason you want to do that is because, look, if you look at my face here, you can see that there's no shadows on my face. It's bright and it's evenly lit, and that is what your goal is when you're looking for lighting. So I'm going to show you what you maybe don't want to do, and things that I've seen when I've been on Skype and Zoom calls with various people. And the reason that you don't want to do these things is because it makes you difficult to see. And so if the other person on the other end of the call can't really get a good look at you, it's hard, like I said, to make that connection. And so here's a couple things you don't want to do. So as I said, you want to turn and face the window. And so put your phone between you and the window, and you should be good, or your laptop. So I'm going to pick up my phone here, and I'm going to show you what you don't want to do. Okay, so I'm still in the same room, but now the window is over there. And look at my face. Look what the lighting is doing to my face. You can see right away I've got really bright areas and really dark areas, and I look like I'm tired and old and haggard, and like, I don't want that, right? So this is not a very flattering light. So, and I've seen a lot of people do Skype calls where they have the window to the side. So I would avoid this type of light, and it's just much more simple just to turn around and look at the difference. I mean, it's huge. Another thing you want to avoid is having the light behind you. And again, I've seen a lot of people do this, and it could just be where their computer is. But now I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to come sit on my couch on this side so that the window is behind me. And look at that. Look what that does to me. It makes me all blurry and kind of milky looking. It looks like I have half my hair. And again, it's not very flattering light. So avoid having bright lights or with the window behind you. So again, you're better off to just turn around and face the window, and see what a major improvement that just made. Let me just fix this here. So that's a lot better, right? The other tip I want to give you is, when you're doing this, turn off all the lights in your room. I mean, if it's daytime and you've got a bright window light shining on you, I would turn off your lamps, your overhead lights, if you've got pot lights or anything like that, because what that's going to do is it's going to put a yellow cast on your face, and that again is not flattering. Or sometimes you might have a lamp behind you, and again it's giving this funny glow to your face if you've got things glowing behind your head, and it's really distracting for the other person who's watching and talking to you. So another tricky situation is nighttime Skype calls or Zoom calls, and I'm not going to address that here because those are tricky and they have some different lighting tips that I'll give you another time. And the same thing goes with if you have a desktop and you can't move it around. So I'm going to address that another time, but just know that this is the tips I'm giving are for daytime lighting. And I mean, when you've got the natural light, you might as well take advantage of it if you can and schedule your calls earlier in the day. So the second tip I want to give you that is something you really need to consider when you're doing these types of calls is the angle that you're shooting your video at. So right now I have my phone on a little stand and it's right up at my eye level. So often what I see people doing is they don't have a stand, and that's part of the problem, which I will address another time. But they might be holding their phone in their hand and it's like this. Have you ever gotten a call like that where someone's talking to you like that? That's not very flattering. Again, you can see on my chins, you can see up my nose, and nobody wants to see that, right? So just lifting up your phone, putting it eye level is the best. Sometimes people like to even hold it up above eye level, which isn't too bad, but then sometimes you can get a little bit too high and it looks silly. So again, just keeping it at eye level is your best bet. The other thing for camera angles, this isn't really an angle, but it suits or it fits in here, is I've seen people like this. They get really close. Or the opposite, you might be too far away, like you've got your laptop maybe sitting on a desk across the room and you're way too small on the camera. So what you want to aim for is so that your head and shoulders are in the camera, in the frame. When you're looking at the picture, you need to be able to see your face clearly and up to your head and shoulders. That's a good rule of thumb. I mean, if you're by yourself, if you're with more than one person, you have to adjust that, but for a single person on the camera, that's what you want to strive for, and you want to see your whole head, you want a little bit of space at the top and part of your upper body. Any closer or farther away than that, you need to adjust it. So anyway, I hope those tips were helpful for you, because I would love for you to all to make those great connections right now, especially on these video calls, and I hope that by helping yourself be well lit and so that you can see each other, that's a really great start. So I hope again you found that helpful, and I'll come back with some more advanced tips down the road. Anyway, bye for now.